So, you've decided to go to auction. The biggest question that I know you're panicking about is that reserve question. What is your reserve? As a vendor, you're always worried about when the agent's going to ask you that question, and I get it, because at the end of the day, you're freaking out because you're worried that whatever price you say, that's going to be it. You're locked in, you're going to sell, all that sort of jazz. It's all those natural nerves and natural things that you're going to be thinking about. I totally get it. Now, when it comes to reserve, what you got to do is think about it in a totally different way, because at the end of the day, it's your property. You don't have to sell. And that is one of the big misconceptions about auction, is the fact that people fear that if they go to auction, they have to sell, and that's totally not the case. And this is where the reserve is actually your best mate. So you need to be talking about your reserve right from the word go with your agent. So what you got to do is you got to think about the reserve as a bit of a comfort blanket. That's what I always refer to it as, because if you have that comfort blanket on you, you're comfortable, you feel warm, you're nice, you're cozy, you're in a good space, and you know full well that if the property goes past your comfort blanket, you've won. So that's what you've got to refer to it as, guys, as that comfort blanket, because I can tell you now, it's going to make life a lot easier when it comes to talking about it, which you're going to have to do, by the way. Now, in terms of setting your reserve, there's a few things that you've got to consider. Big thing, we're all dictated to by the market. I'd love to tell you, I'm going to be able to get you $1 million, $2 million, whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that for you. Nobody can. Least of all the agents, or myself as the auctioneer, or even yourselves as vendors. Doesn't matter how cool your house is, ultimately, it's going to be that market that will tell you how much your property's worth. So you've got to pay attention to it. Also though, you've got to make sure you pay attention and keep in mind what your actual goal is, because that is the whole reason as to why you actually went on the market in the first place. It's not to sell the place. You are genuinely going to be selling your property to do something greater in your life. So you've got to try and maintain a degree of perspective, because it's going to get tense. You're going to get nervous, and it's going to get pretty annoying at times. I can tell you that now. Having a bunch of randoms turn up through your house isn't the nicest feeling in the world. So make sure that you have perspective, because ultimately you want to progress your lives through the sale of this property. So guys, don't let it hang back because of the fact that you've got ego in the way, or you're demanding a ridiculous sum of money. I get that it's your place and you need what you need and you want what you want. Totally cool with that, that's fine. However, you've got to make sure that if you want to progress your lives, you've got to actually do it within the world that we live in. And that's a pretty important point, because we could all live in an ideal world. That'd be awesome, that we could all make as much money as we want and all that sort of jazz. But ultimately, it's all about life progression, and that's what we're here to do with your auction. Now, setting the reserve. This is a cool little trick. Now, when it comes to setting your reserve, again, a misconception is you set the reserve and that's it, it's locked in, it's done. I always refer to the reserve as a dynamic reserve. If you can set a dynamic reserve, it means that you're going to give yourself more flexibility on auction day, which means that you can take advantage of whatever the situation is out there in front of your property. So, what do I mean by a dynamic reserve? Well, we all have what we would love to achieve. We'd all love that magical figure that is the dream. It's going to buy the car, it's going to pay off the mortgage, it's going to get the holiday, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Now, setting your reserve, this is what I would recommend that you do. Everybody has that misconception that once you set the reserve, it's done, it's set, it's finished, it's out of the way, and that's you locked in to that figure. However, the big problem with that is we don't know the situation that we're going to be faced with. We can do all the homework we want, we can be the best campaign managers in the world, but ultimately we're dealing with humans and it is unpredictable. So we need to make sure we've got a bit of flexibility on the day so we can work to the best of our ability based on the situation and the environment that we find ourselves in. So I recommend setting a 3-tier reserve, a gold, silver, bronze, because at the end of the day, you're always going to win something. Gold is that dream figure, that thing that lets you get the holiday, the car, pay off the mortgage, all the stuff that you really want to do. Awesome. And that's probably going to be your original goal figure as well. Second one, that silver level, is a level that is still going to allow you to progress your lives and do a little bit of the cool stuff, but you might have to hold back on some of the luxuries, like the car and, you know, stuff that you don't really need. Now the bronze level, like I said, you're still winning, but that is the bottom level that will allow you to do the necessary things to progress your lives. Think about that end game. It's all about the end game. So you've got to make sure you have that bottom level Not just so that the agent can sell or anything like that, far from it. At the end of the day, if you're going through an auction, you want to get the thing sold. But you've got to understand that that unpredictability means that if you're flexible with how you approach it, and in here, with your mindset, you're going to give yourself way more opportunities to do the right thing on auction day and actually get the thing sold. So, think about your gold level, your dream figure, your silver level, which is still cool. It doesn't quite get you that Merc or whatever it is that you want to buy. And that bronze level, which is the bare minimum that you need in order to progress your life further forward. Have a think about that, guys. Hopefully, that might help you.